The biggest thing we talked about was how you held the club with your glove hand. How you hold that totally affects how it is you can use the wrist, because if the hand goes on there in a way that's putting pressure on the grip just to hold it, you're going to end up squeezing the wrist, so you lock that joint out, and it might even go farther to here. And that's kind of why sometimes in the video we see that this really stays rigid and it doesn't move much. It has more to do with how you're holding it than how you're supposed to use it. So we're going to tackle this from both ends. The first piece is trying to make sure that you can grip it okay, and it's going to feel awkward, but we've got to try and find a way to do this where you feel like the top of your hand, the logo on your glove, is a little bit more on top. But I don't want it to be on top where you see that my index finger and my thumb are in the same spot. I want to get my hand more on top with my thumb longer. It holds it a little bit differently when you get your hand on top with the thumb longer. So when you grip it with your fingers, you're going to notice that there's a serious hitchhiker look to what you're doing. I don't want it crept up like that where it's all, where your thumb and your index finger at the same spot. It's not what we want. Really extend the thumb, feel like it sits in the fingers. And when I talk about the fingers, you know, you've got two joints which make 3 pads in each finger. And I'm trying to get the club to sit in the middle pad of each finger. The middle pad down there. And then when I can do that and extend my thumb, I have the biggest range of motion and possibilities in my wrist. Now, because you came from a spot or a pattern in your swing that really locked out the wrist, we want to try and unlock it. And we can really only do that through you feeling some softness. So once the hand is on there and the thumb is long and you can feel like this becomes more of a active, okay, from here, we're going to try and feel like in your downswing, we talked about, you know, the T at the end of the grip here, that in the downswing, you want to try and feel like you keep your wrist soft enough to keep the T pointed at the ground. I'm not holding on to anything. There's no hold on to wrist angle stuff here. That's the big misconception. I want it to feel as though that all I'm doing is keeping my wrist soft as I try and use my arms to keep the T pointed at the ground as long as I can. Okay, you'll see the difference here. You can see the difference from both perspectives, that when you get to the top and feel like your wrists are soft and the T points at the ground, you see a much different perspective this way and then a much different perspective this way in how the club comes down. But the external cue of this end of the club really helps. Hand over top, long thumb, ensure that you can get active in your wrist. This shouldn't be hard to do. But if you're gripping it in a way that makes it difficult, that's your key. So from here, we're cranking it up and trying to feel like that T can point at the ground. And basically, the last second that it stops pointing at the ground is when the club releases. So from there, it's just going to hit the ground. So we've got soft, trying to keep it soft, right? Really make sure that it doesn't, you're not holding on to anything. You know, if anything, when I get back here, I feel like I throw the club behind me. Right, I'm throwing that club in the direction of the target. And when I can kind of get that feel, that really ignites the downswing, keeping the T pointed there. So keep things soft, maybe throw it behind you, keep the T down. That club's going to hit the ground a little differently, and you're going to feel more whip, rotation, flip, flick. I'm not sure what the word is, but the club is going to do more of this. That's the big stuff. So practice the grip at home. Try feeling like you can keep it soft, almost to the point in the downswing. You get the club to almost bounce off your shoulder like this, right? That's kind of a big key. Work on those things, and I'll see you next time.